Yeah.
There we
Oh, we're back, baby.
All right.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Cheers,
are
fellas.
Woo.
Back. One more week, and we are really back.
Counting down the days.
Really entertain these motherfuckers in a week from now, man. We're going to start getting it.
We are getting real close. We are 9
Dude.
days away from Bucks Cowboys.
I got big boners right now every morning
Yeah.
I wake up. Dude.
Yeah.
And it's not because of who I'm sleeping next to. It's just because of what I know that's coming, man.
They're getting bigger and bigger every day.
Well, not that, but they're there. They're present, man. They're there, and it's relevant. I feel good lately, man.
All
It's
right.
been good mornings.
Yeah. We're going to talk about something different than football for a minute. It's been a few days since we've talked. I'm curious what you guys think about what's going on with the New York Mets. Javi Baez, who has been on a terrible stretch, goes 1 for 4 in the game, finally hits a home run, and then gives a thumb down as he's approaching home plate because he doesn't approve of the fans booing. What do you guys think?
Absolutely. I'll take this first. We're not taking turns on this one because I don't want to hear it. Dude, you get the privilege of being drafted with Chris Bryant and a bunch of other studs like Anthony Rizzo. You guys win a World Series. They jumped the gun, fire a manager they should have never fucking gotten rid of because when he finally got a fucking budget behind him more than the Rays had, he actually won a championship. And it's insulting that this guy that was baby, dude. You guys know this shit, man. When you win a championship, like it'd be like,
Yeah.
if the Red
he's
Sox would
probably
have
the
hung around
biggest
with Johnny
free swinger in
Damon.
all of baseball.
Dude,
You know,
he could do anything in Chicago. He wouldn't have got booed because he brought a championship and was the one on the team that, and he had the flair. Brad, we laugh about Colton Wong, these guys that,
that's
they
the
get the
kind of deal.
They get the contract, they go out, they get the matching glasses, the armbands, the
He's got
fucking
his baby
chains
blue
are
glove.
the chains are popping out of his shit, dude.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, man. So I thought it was straight pussy shit. People pay to watch you play. You don't, or they're there. They paid to be there. You're being paid to be there.
Yeah.
Nobody shows up to watch me DoorDash. You know what I'm saying? No one shows up to watch you design shit, dude.
Well, how about this? If you don't want to get booed, how about playing better? Even in the game, you hit the home run, you went 1 for 4.
Yeah, and have you seen him this year, man? He's
about a
been
200 average.
terrible.
Since he's gotten to the Mets, it's gotten even worse.
And before we get to Brad on that too, dude, I wanted to add, like I had the notes here, man, because the funniest part is Lindor went with it. Lindor thought, okay, I'm going to do it too, man. This is a good idea. Lindor's 10-year contract doesn't start till next year. He signed a 10-year deal with the Mets. It's like, oh, that's
really paid him yet. Yeah.
Great way to introduce yourself to the fans, man. Now every time he comes up or makes an error, good luck. Dude.
Yeah.
Until he wins.
Like Arenado here.
Yeah, it's like, dude, we give everyone a curtain call. That dude's gonna get booed when he gets a base hit. Like they're gonna be like, "Fuck you." So
yeah,
I had a lot. Yeah, that one fired me up.
So. Carry on.
I mean, I love that the fans called it out, and said, you guys suck. You're not living up to expectations. You should have won this division. You have some of the best pitching in the league on this team. Our lineup's deep. Like, there's no reason they suck except they're the fucking Mets. That's the only reason.
Yeah.
And
that's middle infield.
Javi even talked about, only team he'd go to and play second base for was the Mets.
Yep.
Because his buddy Lindor's there. So you think instead of acting the way he has since he got there, it's amazing how stupid an MLB veteran like that is. The guy that's like Todd was talking about, won a ring. He's been through everything.
He was the guy, man.
It's just
him and Yachty in the baseball classic.
I mean, the Mets aren't re-signing him because the owner already came out and basically said, Mets side with the fans. I don't know if you guys saw Kevin Pillar, who's like kind of platoon center fielder. He hit a dinger and was giving the thumbs up.
That's awesome.
At least somebody's got a little sense of humor with it, trying to, but
Pillar played for the Sox a couple years back.
Well, that's the other thing is Baez already came out and basically apologized. How quick do you think the owner talked to Javi and Lindor?
They said he was going to address the team.
Yeah.
right away.
before, yeah, I would have been
I-
shocked if he didn't even address them before his
Dude.
statement. I mean,
Man, if you don't like, it's not like they're on like the Mets are traditionally known as going on these terrible collapses. It's like they're not even on one of those. Can you imagine if they were on one of those and he came out and was talking shit to the fans? It's like this is just they're just playing bad baseball over the course of the year. It's not like one of the historical collapses like when Shea Stadium closed in 07 and they lost what was like 3 to the Marlins or something and got knocked out of the playoff. It was, you know, they lost 3 to a really shitty
NLCS. Maybe it was that, and they lost to the Marlins the year the Marlins played the Yankees.
It was later than that, but anyway,
it was David Wright years.
Yeah, the David Wright years, and like they had great teams, but they didn't make the playoffs. They faded at the end, so it really is like, man, what's gonna happen when shit really hits the fan? And I think it's interesting because I wonder if that will affect what the contract he's gonna get offered in the offseason.
100%.
That was
100%. It's gonna affect that contract.
Like people are gonna say, you know what, we're good. Like we don't want him.
He already had a bad reputation, kind of. I thought the owner had the best response after all the shit came out. All he did was just tweet like, man, I really miss the days of when the Mets black jerseys were the biggest controversy we had. You know, like those real kind of those pretty ugly black.
Yeah, the really shitty ones. Just black just to be black.
God, I remember when life was good, you know.
All right. I think that's good for our 5 minutes of baseball. Let's move on to just some, NFL news right as the season arrives. And news of the
Always day. Action.
Bill Belichick called up and said, Cam, you're fucking out.
Yeah.
It's Mac Jones time in New England. So, Brad, let's kick it off to you. How do you think Mac's going to do this year? How do you think do you think anybody picks up Cam? I think the vaccination decision by Cam might play a factor in that.
I do. He's been established a few places. I know like Rivera already kind of came out and said, yeah, we thought about it, but we're going to stick with Fitz Magic still at this time. I know the Cowboys are looking at him too, just because Dak, in the shoulder. But I love him there. I mean, since he got drafted, it makes so much sense. Saban to Belichick, and the kids, he kind of outplayed Tua for the job. So I don't know. I don't know if there's any talent around him. Maybe those tight ends they signed, but that's the only thing that's going to be tough.
He seems like just like the fundamental player that I think they're going to do really good this year, man. Like he's such a Belichick guy. You mentioned the Saban ties. Belichick loves to draft Alabama players. From the few games I've watched of him in preseason, I think he's going to get it done. I wouldn't be surprised if they win 11 games this year.
He doesn't look like a rookie out there, and he's taking some reps versus the ones. So
he doesn't look shocked at all. He seems to, like on every play, he knows what he's looking for and makes a quick decision and gets the ball out. Jimmy, what do you think about old Mac?
Yeah, dude, I kind of figured that there's going when, again, like Brad said, coming out of Bama, we know the ties of Belichick and fucking Saban, dude. We've heard about it for years. They're like best friends, two fucking psychos that know how to coach great football teams. But I think he has that Brady kind of, he gets it, dude. He's going in just saying, man, I am going to be the best teammate. I'm going to do the right thing. He's not getting vaccinated, not showing up to shit, dude. He's like, are you crazy, Cam? Like, I guess you got enough now. You got an MVP and you are mailing it in, but I'm going to take advantage of the situation I've been given. I was drafted as a quarterback in the first round by Belichick. I can't remember the last time he took a quarterback in the first round. When was it? Like, has that happened ever? So I think Mac Jones has a great and was it the first round? Am I off on that?
It was the first round.
Okay.
I don't think I'm thinking back in the last 20 years. I don't think they have taken a quarterback in the first round. They took Jimmy G in the second or third. If I'm
to have
that
two
right.
like that plus like Brad, given the insight of Saban, I think that it shows you his confidence and he knows he has to know a lot about the kid. He just has.
I think it always annoyed Bill too that it took Cam over a year to figure out the whole playbook. I guarantee you, Mac Jones probably has that whole playbook down right now.
Yeah,
it's it's just, and that's some shit. You just can't coach a guy up on
Well,
that.
when you're a young kid like that, you're going into
Right.
it just saying, I'm
But-
willing to put in this time. And Cam, who knows? I mean, we don't know.
Yeah.
We've heard stories. He seems to care when he wants to, but when it's convenient after a Super Bowl, when he loses, he doesn't go to the interview. You know, he leaves the interview.
Yeah.
So,
Does this not make the week 4 matchup just like twice as exciting? Brady going into his old stadium and facing off against Mac.
against the
Year.
I don't know
the
if
young
it's
gun.
20
For
years
me, it's just
Yeah.
pity. I just pity the poor kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the Buccaneers
I mean-
defense is going to bring it to try to bring
Yeah.
that win home for Tom, you know.
Now, one thing though that dude, and I don't know how many came back, but I know that the Patriots, a lot of their defense opted
wasn't
out
there
last
last
year.
year.
Yeah.
That's
They
right.
opted out for COVID. So
Yep.
I think that is an underrated part of it too.
Only
If-
one they'll be missing is Gilmore, from the whole mix.
Yeah.
for that
Yeah,
week
and
4
he's
matchup.
out for
So,
how long is
just
he out
6.
for?
Just 6 weeks
For
on that
He,
pup
like-
list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's out for the first 6 weeks. So Gilmore
Okay.
won't be there that game. But
Right.
you know what? I could see it being a really good game. Belichick isn't going to sleep that week. He's going to
Gotta
do
be
everything
funny.
he fucking can, dude,
Yeah.
to get his defense ready to go.
Yo,
for that
if Brady shreds him, man, that shit's gonna be hilarious. Like
I
if
would-
Belichick's throwing headsets on the fucking
I would
feel
sideline.
love
terrible
the
for Mac
Bucs.
Jones that next week.
Yeah, I would love for the Bucks to line up some sort of trick play where Brady can really rub it in his face, like a
Get a
boot
catch, dude, for a touchdown or
catch.
some shit.
for a touchdown. I'd love to see a bootleg and Tom Brady just like
Yeah.
walk into the end zone.
I could
That would
see
be
that.
funny.
Man. Yeah, that's gonna be a hell of a matchup, though. Is that is that prime time?
Yeah, it's a Sunday night
I think
football
so.
that
Hell
week.
yeah, that'll
Yeah.
be a good one, dude.
Yeah, I
That'll
looked
be
into
something,
tickets, but
man.
they're like $800 for the the
Yeah.
upper deck. Yeah,
Where is
so
it? New England?
It's in New England, dude.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
Tom's
yeah.
going back there to play. So
Ah,
that's something to look forward to. I mean,
He's
we're
gotta
only
be
about,
beloved up
a
there.
month away from that.
dude,
Right?
this is awesome,
Yeah,
man. We're
Best
getting,
time of the year, man.
yeah, baby.
All right. Hey, Jimmy, let's move it to your team. Bridgewater was named the starter over Drew
Oh, yeah.
Lock. How do
Yeah,
you
I like
feel
that,
about
man.
this personally? Just about like how the season's going to go, positive or negative? You
I
like?
like it a lot. I think
Yep.
that it sucks to kind of cut ties or whatever, like the cord you call it with Locke because we drafted him high. He's a local, well, he went to Mizzou, all that bullshit.
Mhm.
But I really think with the way our defense didn't give up, I think we gave up 1 touchdown in the preseason. Not that that is a huge indicator, but I think that our defense is our our strongest part with
Definitely.
Fangio, obviously. And
Yeah.
and going through the numbers here, so Bridgewater's highest completion percentage was last season. He also he had his highest number of attempts last year. And you look at that and you put our weapons instead of Carolina without McCaffrey, man.
It's
we can,
better.
if he can be
Yeah.
serviceable, dude. I mean, again, that shocked me when I looked this up. It was 69, percent completion, and he had 492 passes, and 340 of them were complete, dude. And that beat all his other years with the Vikings when they had pretty good,
He
receivers.
had one good year with the Vikings for sure.
Yeah, and again, he was always serviceable. Like he was never the guy that's going to lose you the game. And unfortunately, up to this point, Locke is the dude that'll lose you the game. He'll throw that ball that against the Chiefs, you can't have 1 turnover in it yet. So
Yeah.
I like that move a lot.
Yeah. I'd agree for the most part. Brad, what do you say? I think
I
think-
disagree.
Bridgewater's lower floor, but also or higher floor, lower ceiling, I should say. Drew
Yeah.
Lock has a little bit more potential, but it's also a much higher risk. So
Yeah.
you would rather risk it all, is what you're saying. You would have pushed in with Drew Lock.
No, me.
Oh,
Oh,
I was
Brad.
gonna-
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm like,
I mean,
no,
now I don't know what they're thinking. I know some people say they're feeling like
pushed in last
they're
year.
that they're a slam dunk for Rodgers
Fuck
after
that.
this season. If that's the case, Bridgewater makes more sense. But if you're not getting Aaron Rodgers, I mean, you're kind of doing the same thing you did with the Peyton year. Like you're selling all out for that Super Bowl, but all of a sudden you have this really talented roster and a huge question mark at
We're not
quarterback now.
selling out with fucking Bridgewater.
No, but I think when you don't let your 3rd-year quarterback play, you're stunting his growth for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
I would have
agree
just
with
liked
that.
to see them start Lock. If it's still the same Lock we saw last year at like week 3, You go,
Sutton
okay, you're the
preseason.
backup now.
Yeah.
Did
I
you-
mean, I know. I just that offense is built with vertical weapons.
It is. but
Judy, Sutton, Fant.
again, though,
So
and
to
the
bring in
preseason
Teddy,
games,
it's tough. But
Yeah.
in the preseason games, Teddy Two Gloves hit those
Yeah.
passes. To
and I mean,
Jeudy.
statistically,
did,
last
man.
year
He
Teddy was a
really-
better deep ball thrower.
Yeah. Sometimes he just doesn't throw them.
He just
I
doesn't
think
do
is
it
the
much.
thing. He
Right.
doesn't take the chance. I can
Well,
see
and that's
both
why-
sides to that because Bridgewater is going to hold on to the ball and check it down a lot more than Lockwood. But I also witnessed Jameis try to keep slinging it and slinging it and slinging it. And the Bucks did give him those 4 years of chances, I think it
right,
was.
man.
They have eaten
Yeah,
5.
yeah. And eventually, you're like, dude,
And
you
it didn't
can't-
change. Yeah.
can't-
Yeah.
And I watched it all last year,
It was never
dude.
good.
Now,
Right.
Something you could call good.
before we go on a side note, we haven't had Sutton healthy with Judy and like had everyone kind of going. So with
They have not.
but I've still seen there's been times where you're just like, what the fuck are you thinking?
Oh, yeah.
Or
Yeah.
Well, and unfortunately, you never
It's like
on
some
some of
Gruden
those too.
shit,
It's like,
but-
is that it's so bad? Is it you or is that a receiver? And
Yeah.
it is, you guys are just so young.
dance
on
the
that side of
red right.
ball.
The X always goes away from
Yeah.
the snap.
Yeah.
What's his
Gruden-
name?
Yeah, I don't think Gruden
Yeah.
would like Drew Lock
No,
very
he
much.
would
No,
not,
no.
man,
Let me
no.
go call Jeff Garcia.
Yeah,
whoever
right.
else I can find here.
Yeah.
We'll bring him in. I'll bring in an old guy that knows
Call-
what the fuck he's doing.
Call my
Vic
brother in
Fangio's
Arena
the
League.
same way. I think
You're
Vic
like my
Fangio's
wife
that
when you
same
get in
way,
space.
you know?
You get
Yeah.
lost. Just
He
get
is,
lost.
you know.
But yeah, Drew Lock
Fucking-
does have those moments where you're like, those,
Yeah,
oh,
man.
what the fuck moments.
What
Yeah.
are you doing, dude? Yeah,
Yeah.
and he very talented.
Up 10 with like 7 minutes to go, and we're taking the
I
deep
think-
shot. Like, what
To
the?
end the, I think he gives it Bridgewater will give us a better chance to make the playoffs. I really feel that way. I think
think
that
that's
he
correct.
is a better.
I'd
think
agree with
that's
that.
correct.
A better.
Yeah. It's just
And
like
they might look
when we
like
get into
geniuses
the playoffs.
if they make.
I don't know. The AFC is so loaded. The Broncos are, I think, behind at
Yeah,
least
It's tough.
5 or
man, but
6 teams in that
Yeah.
conference. If you're thinking on a positive note, but hey, who the
They'd have
fuck
to
knows?
go the right way if
Yeah.
they
Wait
stay
till-
healthy.
Can't wait
you know
till
what I mean?
Brady fucking
They-
retires.
I will
man.
say the Broncos have an easy start to the season. I think it
we
goes.
do. We
It
do,
goes
man.
like
We got two New York
Jags.
teams.
it's Giants, Jets, and then
Somebody else, shit,
Yeah.
like the Jags.
Yeah.
or
They could
something
go
like
3-0,
that.
and
yeah,
then-
they.
get your hopes up, only to crush them later
Hey,
on in the
as
season.
a Bucks fan, you know all about that, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know that we get off to many hot starts. We might win one big game at the start of the year and then collapse.
That's true.
It's been a while since I've had high hopes. I mean, last year the high hopes carried on, but before last year,
Yeah, it
it
is
goes
the
back
Jags.
to Josh Freeman before I had like playoff hopes into December, and then they got
Yeah.
crushed.
I mean, before
Yeah,
last year,
10 years.
You know, there was a lot of years. It was like, are you a bigger Chiefs fan or Bucks fan? Even at times, you know.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think that was a real question though.
No,
Uh,
no, it
that-
wasn't.
That was a
wasn't.
question that was asked in
Yeah.
January and February due to how hard I was pulling for the Chiefs to
Right.
finish the job the last few years.
Yeah,
Had to
they
bring
got
it up,
lucky.
though.
Yeah. Oh, that's all right. I'm welcome to talk about that anytime. I love Mahomes. All right.
Oh, we know.
Moving on. A quarterback you could compare to Mahomes, Jameis Winston. Threw for 5,000 yards a couple of years ago, led the league in passing.
Yeah.
He gets the start in New Orleans. I could see,
Crab legs Winston.
Jameis Crab
Crab
legs
legs Winston.
Winston. Here we go. I'm so excited, guys.
I am too,
I
man.
would- anytime the Saints are playing and there's not a Bucks game going on
Got it.
simultaneously,
Yeah.
I will tune in to watch this dude play.
It'll be
I-
interesting.
He's fucking entertaining as hell. There's a lot of good. There's a lot of really bad. I just love it for the entertainment value that I'm going to get out of it this season. So, what do you guys think, Jimmy? What do you think about the Saints
Dude.
having a good season with Jameis?
I
Do you
think they're
there's a
going to
chance?
be an over 500 team, no doubt. I think they're
Yeah.
going to compete. I think they're going to be a good football team, better than what people think, actually. Because I think if you take a guy like fucking Sean Payton, and dude, he's a mastermind offensively, and he's grown up in the Gruden system of checkdowns, knowing that West Coast offense, so he can adapt to that. Also, when you got a back like Kamara, you can check it down to him too. I think that he's going to be able to use him in a way that actually, like, if Drew Lock he got cut somehow, like Cam fucked around and did, and ended up in New Orleans, that'd be a guy that could use, I think, Peyton would be able to use Drew Lock too, because it's not like Gruden where he's going to yell at you for every fucking miss. He probably will, but he also values the ability to throw it down the field. And I think that, man, we saw it in the game when he threw the touchdown against the Bucks. When he came in the game,
the playoff game. He
dude,
one
right.
play on a trick play, and
Exactly,
the dude was
though,
wide open, but
but
Jameis did hit him.
he hit him, man. And I think that so. And
I
it's
wasn't
not like
afraid at that point in the game. I was like, no fucking way. Jameis comes in and throws
and
a
it hits a
40 yard
touchdown, dude.
touchdown.
So I think that yeah, I think with an offensive mind like Peyton, I think that's something to be valued there. I think they can be served, they can be around, and they're not, I mean, it's a good division, but it's not great. Like the Falcons are gonna be whatever. They're gonna get wins.
The Falcons and Panthers are more unknowns.
Right. They're going to get wins.
I would pick the Saints to finish with more wins than the Panthers and Falcons.
Yeah, right. That's what I mean. So they could go 10-7 or whatever. You know what I mean? They could
I
be
think
a
I
little
challenge
over.
that because I think
9-8.
You're having more faith in Darnold than Jameis. What has he shown you to believe that, though?
Not throw 30 picks in a year.
Yeah.
But he threw 30 touchdowns.
Has Sam Darnold ever thrown 30 touchdowns?
Yeah.
Or 5,000 yards? Not even close.
I don't understand their blind faith in him really either. The whole quarterback fucking situation in that division for those teams is odd.
Yeah.
I mean, because what happens when Jameis goes into one of his weird ass funks and throws 5 picks in a game? Taysom Hill's going to come in and he's going to win the day for you?
Actually, it's not a bad idea. I forgot. That's an option.
It's just,
it probably will happen when
Michael Thomas is on the pup. So he's not coming back till their bye is weeks. So week 7 is his first week playing.
Yeah. Jameis will try to stick it in there. They got to
survive a lot of weeks. It's just, there's not much talent on that offense anymore besides Kamara.
Jameis will throw it in there to anybody, though, dude. Just to have a dude running a route, he'll try to stick it in there. The Michael Thomas thing, I don't know that that's going to hurt him that much.
You don't think it will?
Yeah, because I think Jameis will just find a couple guys he likes and he'll try to fit it into tight windows like he always does.
Right.
And he'll either do it or he won't.
And then he'll look confused after
but he won't be squinting anymore because he got the LASIK surgery.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I hope we don't see him squinting into the scoreboard anymore. All right. Last quarterback decision we got to talk about. Jimmy G is going to be the starter in San Francisco, but the way they showed in the last preseason game, Trey Lance could come in sometimes in the middle of a series, even come in on second down and run a play, and they could trade off snaps, not just drives, but snaps. So I think it makes it tough on defenses, but I think it'll piss Jimmy G off. Speaking of Jimmy's, what do you think?
Yeah, dude, I can't imagine how it wouldn't. I mean, like you come in and you draft a guy, you're like, we love you, but I mean, let's give him,
we're just grooming him for the future.
Second and 3, we got a play coll. We're gonna throw in the boy just for it. Yeah. Let's be real, guys. I mean, we're football fans. You can see, Matt, you call it what do you call it? Coordinator face.
But I wouldn't throw Shanahan under that.
I'm not saying that about him.
I like him as a coach.
I'm trying to come up with our own phrase to describe players like Jimmy G that have backup face.
Yeah.
Looking
over my shoulder face.
So much fun. No, there's so much fun on the sideline. They look like they love life. But then when the game starts, if Jimmy G was a good quarterback, he would have hit a touchdown pass at the end of that Super Bowl against the Chiefs. Play action down the field right before the end of halftime or the end of the first half.
I mean, it's debatable whether they would have won.
But it would have been a dagger, a big touchdown. I mean, the dude's never. Have you ever watched a Niners game with Jimmy G at the helm and been like, man, that dude? So
he's in control. No, not really.
I think they're right. I think they're in the right to go with something different because I think Shanahan is a good coordinator. I think he can develop creative plays. He was working with RG3, so if you got a guy that can move around a little bit and you got an offense with Debo Samuel and the Kittle at tight end, you're gonna they got definitely
Ayuk. I know they're high
and
on him still.
and their defense is really good. I mean, their front whatever the fuck you call it is like top in the league. So
Yeah. I think however it shakes out there, the 49ers are going to be good this season.
yeah,
I think they're going to make the playoffs regardless of what the hell they do with the quarterbacks. I think they make the playoffs. I'm just kind of looking forward to seeing how all that works. I
don't know.
Something you
'Cause
see
I
in the
think
NFL.
that's a dicey thing in a locker room to have two starting quarterbacks, because you're
Yeah.
going to have vets that are going to side with Jimmy G. You're going to have young guys that have only
But
known
why would they
Trey.
side with what do they have to back that
Well,
siding with Jimmy G?
just a guy they played with more.
Do
You know what I mean?
But do you
But
guys
when you
remember-
look at the rest of the division, you got Stafford with the Rams now and Russ with Seahawks. I mean,
I don't trust.
You remember how we were
I think
talking
the Rams are
about
gonna be
this
better.
was before Cam got cut, but I was talking about Belichick could be the guy that has enough control of the locker room where they could alternate between Cam
Yeah.
Newton and Mac
Yeah.
Jones within
Right.
a game, and
Yeah.
Belichick would have the respect where it would work out.
Mhm.
Everybody would be for it. I don't know if I love Shanahan as a coach, but I don't know if the players respect him enough. He really hasn't. He doesn't have the accolades or the respect that a Belichick does to
Well,
do whatever the fuck he
it'll be
wants and have
interesting to see.
everybody back
but
him.
it is definitely in question. Yeah.
He
Does
also
he
had
have
to-
that in him?
he had to deal with that early in his career too when he was working for his dad in Washington when RG3 came up and they also drafted Cousins. And
Yeah.
they would kind of mix and match it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it was like an argument every week on who because they drafted RG3 in the third or Cousins in the third round, right?
Fourth
and they
round.
got RG3 in the
Yeah.
fucking
He was
first.
their
It's like,
first
dude,
pick
I-
after
like
RG.
so you can see what ownership wanted to sell tickets and then what
Yeah.
the fucking coaches wanted.
And they traded a fucking bag to the Rams.
yeah. And we didn't trust me, it didn't matter. It did not
It
matter.
really didn't benefit either franchise.
All that did was get the Rams moved to LA and confirm that because no fans were showing up and nobody
I
cared.
will say the Rams got one thing on them that game because when the Rams played the Redskins after that trade went down, Jeff Fisher sent every player that they got in that trade to the coin toss.
Yeah, he did. I remember that
And then the
game,
Ra-
dude.
Their
There was like 8 guys out
He was
there.
always good at trolling.
kind of a cool
little bit.
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
did that a lot, or like if you had played
And
a bunch
the-
of years for another team, you were going out there. For
Yeah, to go out.
kickoff.
All right.
The Rams got Donald out of that deal too. I'm pretty
So-
sure Donald was
Oh,
a draft pick.
that's
out of
an
that one.
interesting
I'm-
point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So that actually is a huge one.
So that wraps up all of our kind of quarterback news as the season approaches. Before we get into this, we're going to do a mock fantasy draft. We're going to pick the first 24 players, taking turns, taking each pick. But before we do that, let's take a quick break and we'll be
Right on.
right back.
Sounds good.